I really like talking about celebrities, as you can tell, but I will try to be a little bit more serious in some future shows here. And some of the things I want to discuss over the next month are going to be planetary aspects and also configurations. For example, we'll be talking about how conjunctions show where there's a focus and power in the horoscope. And sextiles are opportunities or talents that you have that you can utilize and develop. Trines are always a sign of good karma. These areas of life always flow very easily, and you're very fortunate in these regards. Squares are always challenges that you have to overcome in your life. Let's say a Mercury square Mars means that you have a tendency to be very hot-headed and argumentative. You can overcome it, of course, but you have to work on it a little bit. Also, maybe a Mars-Pluto means you like to push others around, or you have a big ego and always want to win. And again, you have to know this about yourself, and then you can change it. First, we have to identify what's wrong or take an inventory of ourselves, and we do that through our horoscope. It tells us our weak points, what we need to work on karmically to become a perfect person, or thereabouts. I don't know if there is such a thing as a perfect person. Also, oppositions I'll be talking about. Oppositions are a sign of karma that you have with another person or with the world in general. For example, if you have a Saturn opposition in your horoscope, it means you buck the system, or the system tries to come down on you, whether it's your father, later on it could be a boss, or even the government itself telling you what to do that you kind of rebel against. And so it's a major area of tension, and probably if it's coming from the 6th house, it could have to do with your health. If it's coming from the 10th house, it has to do with your career. In fact, planets up in the 10th house that are afflicted by oppositions can be a sign that you could take a downfall and tumble from a very high position once you get there. Richard Nixon did it, and you could too if you don't watch out. So that's why you need to know what's in your horoscope so you can figure out what you need to work on to balance your chart and balance your life out a little bit more. I'm also going to be speaking about configurations. People that have grand crosses, they often feel like they're being, nailed to a cross. Their life is pretty tough. One crisis after another, over and over again, just like a full moon baby feels. And we could talk about T-squares, how a lot of people that have T-squares need to be doing something. They are not lazy people, they're dynamic. That's why you see so many celebrities and so many famous, successful people have T-squares. If you have a T-square and you are having a hard time, find somebody that will fit in the missing leg to complete the T-square, and that's the person who can help you deal with that tension and that energy and overcome it. There's a great book, by the way, called How to Handle Your T-Squares by Tracy Marks, and she talks about that, finding the missing leg. Also, we'd be talking about those kites. If you have a kite in your horoscope, it means you could become famous. There's also mystical rectangles, boomerangs, cradles, hoods, cradles with hoods. There's all kinds of stuff that I'm going to be talking about. How about the rare grand octile? Only a few. And do you know, Rob Hand, the famous astrologer, once told me he did once see a grand sextile and there was absolutely nothing noticeable about this person. So having a wild configuration doesn't mean that it's going to be apparent on the outside that there's anything particularly different about you, but maybe from the inside we have to look from the inside out. So, all right, so tune in the future shows and learn more about these configurations and aspects. Bye for now, and follow your lucky stars.